Hey Stitchers, your girl Kris here. Welcome or welcome back to my channel on social where it's totally cool to be obsessed with sewing. So today's video, you guys, is a really exciting video for me because I have a special announcement. So July is my birth month. I'm a Cancerian, you guys. And last year, I went ahead and hosted the Pattern Hackathon over on Instagram. I have decided this year to bring back that challenge. And so July is going to be Pattern Hacking Month, aka the Pattern Hackathon, hosted by me, ding, yours truly, Kris of On Social. Now, I've always been very enthusiastic about pattern hacking. Now, if you do not know, pattern hacking really just is making any aesthetic adjustment to your pattern that was not in the original design. Pattern hacking can be very simple or it can be made very complex and end up being basically a redraft of a pattern. So in terms of a simple pattern hack, think shortening a maxi skirt into a mini skirt or a knee length skirt or mini length skirt. Think adding sleeves to a sleeveless top, that sort of thing. Or it can be pretty complex. You might want to go ahead and rotate out your darts. You might change your darts from darts to princess seams. You might change your darts into gathers. You might slash and spread to add lots of volume. There are so many ways you can go about hacking patterns, and I'll be back throughout the month of July to share more about what pattern hacking is, different tips for pattern hacking, and that sort of thing. Now, I told you guys that I'm hosting the challenge. And if I'm hosting the challenge, that must mean that I have participants for said challenge. So the way that the challenge is going to be run this year is a little bit different to last year. Now, last year I shared prompts through every day in the month of July. And then for 8 days, I had a pattern hack off between teams of sewers over on Instagram. So every day, each team had been sharing their pattern hacks. Now, although I enjoyed the challenge last year and I got a lot of feedback that people enjoyed watching, I wanted to somehow make it a little bit more inclusive for the sewing community. And so I've sort of revised how the Pattern Hackathon is going to be run this year. Now, for this year, the Pattern Hackathon is going to run throughout the entire month, week by week by week. So there are 5 weeks in the month of July this year, and every week I'm going to have a team of ambassadors. So the hackathon actually kicks off on June the 30th, just because of how that week starts. And I wanted to give each team an entire week, and I did not want anybody to be at a disadvantage, and so it starts on the 30th of June. Now for week 1, we'll be featuring tops and blouses, and the 2 ambassadors for week 1 will be Rochelle of Rochelle Handmade Designs here on YouTube and over there on Instagram, and she is teaming up with Candace, aka C, of We See Style, again here on YouTube and over on Instagram. So they'll be battling out the tops category. Now, week 2 is going to be focused on skirts. And the 2 ambassadors for week 2 will be Shamir. Her handle is a little bit difficult to pronounce because it's her name spelled backwards. And she is teaming up with Shelly. Now, as far as I know, Shamir is not here on YouTube, but I'll go ahead and verify. And if she is, then I'll be sure to drop it in on the screen so that you can find her. She is teaming up with Shelly. I know Shelly is here on YouTube, but I do not know her handle off the top of my head. And so I'm going to go ahead and check that out as well. I think it is Shelly Shell Sews, but because I want to be accurate about it, I'll drop it in the description box so that you can go and find her. And those 2 fabulous ladies will be tackling week 2, which is skirts. Now, week 3 will be handled by my girl Diana of at 26 by Diana over on Instagram, and Shells, who is both on Instagram and here on YouTube. I will go ahead and check out her handle again and leave it in the description box so that you can find her. And those 2 girlies are tackling the pants / jumpsuit category. So that will be week 3. Now, week 4 is going to be the beloved dress category, and that is going to be handled by Bird. I know she's here on YouTube and she's over on Instagram as well. Again, I'll have the handles in so you can find her. And she is teaming up with Shantae, and I know Shantae is over on Instagram. I need to verify if she's also here on YouTube so that you can find her. Now, those are the 4 main teams. Now, week 5 is a very short week. I think it's about 3 or 4 days. And I'm hoping to have a bonus appearance with myself as the host, teaming up with Jilly of The Created Curvy, right here on YouTube and over on Instagram. So if all pans out well, week 5 will be a bonus week featuring us two lovely ladies. Now for the challenge, each team has to select a single pattern that they will both hack. So for example, let's take the dresses category. Bird and Shantae will choose one pattern, the same pattern, but each member will come up with their own separate hack. So it's going to be interesting to see how the creativity comes into play and how two different minds attack the same pattern in terms of hacking it. And then we'll have a big reveal for each of those two makes at the end of the week. Now, through each week, each of the ambassadors will be sharing behind the scenes clips and videos and so on over on Instagram stories and on their feed and so forth. Those of them who have YouTube accounts have also been invited to share it here on YouTube with you guys so that you can see what's happening. Now, I thought it would be interesting for you to see some of the behind the scenes actions, how the ladies pick their patterns, how they came up with their hacks. Maybe you might see a sketch or two about how they want to hack the pattern. Maybe some of the girlies will have Pinterest inspiration. I don't know how each team is going to tackle it, but I know it's going to be exciting. Now, of course, I did say this is going to be an opportunity for the sewing community to get involved. And how do you get involved? Now, each week you can choose your very own top pattern for week 1, skirt pattern for week 2, pant or jumpsuit pattern for week 3, and dress pattern for week 4 and come up with your very own hack. Now, at the end of each respective week, you will be invited to share your hack over on Instagram on the reveal date, and that will enter you into the grand prize drawing. So I wasn't going to have a challenge and not have prizes, was I? And I have secured some amazing sponsors so far. Now, when I'm recording this video, it is early June, and that is why I'm still wearing this top, which was featured in the Hot Girl Summer Challenge hosted by Rochelle right here on YouTube. So if you did not see that video, I'll drop it in here so that you can go ahead and check it out. Anyways, I'm recording this video in early June, and so far I have secured about 8 sponsors. So I have a mix of sewing notions, fabrics, and patterns that I'm going to be giving away during the hackathon. Now, at the end of each week, as I said, sewists in the community will be invited to submit their hacks pertaining to each particular category. At the end of the hackathon on the 31st of July, that will be the final entry date. So just in case you fell behind or in case you were working on multiple hacks, then you still have a last opportunity on the 31st of July to get your submissions in. Over the next couple of days, each team is going to be responsible for choosing the winners for their respective categories. So, for example, for the blouse category, Rochelle and C will come together and decide who had the best blouse or top pattern hack. And then that person or person will then be awarded a prize. So that is how I thought I could get the sewing community more involved this year in the Pattern Hackathon. Now I'm super excited about it. I love, love, love pattern hacking. I just like being able to use already well-drafted patterns and hacking it up so that I can put my very own unique spin on it. Now, as a sewist, it's really exciting when you're able to create a garment that nobody else has. Now, contrary to popular belief, when you sew, you can have garments just like your sew sisters. So if I decided to make the same thing that I saw Jilly make, for example, she might have shared something here on YouTube that I fell in love with and I want to make the very same thing, then I can shop her fabric if it's still available, shop her pattern if it's still available, and if she did not hack it, then I could come up with exactly the same make as she did. And so the idea of pattern hacking is just to put your own little spin or twist on an already drafted pattern. That being said, you can hack a pattern and somebody else can hack a pattern like your hack. So still, there is room for like matchy-matchy twinsy behavior, even in pattern hacking. But the creativity that I experience and the sheer joy that I get from hacking up a pattern is immense. And I'm just hoping to encourage pattern hacking more and more and more in the sewing community, especially throughout the month of July. So if you are a seamstress, no matter if you are a beginner seamstress or you are a more advanced seamstress, I would absolutely invite you to get involved in the Pattern Hackathon. As I said, I do have some amazing prizes to give away at the end of it, and it's a good way to challenge your creativity. If you want to enter every week, then you can do so. I'm thinking I'm going to have a grand prize for somebody who manages to enter every single week. Fingers crossed, there will be a couple of you guys who have the time and the creative juices to be able to enter the challenge every week. So think about it now. Start gathering your patterns from now. Get your ideas going, get your creative juices flowing. How do you think you can approach these patterns so that you can enter each of the weeks? Now, have fun doing it. It's not meant to be super, super complicated. At least it does not have to be if you do not want it to be. But as I said, please do join in on the fun over on Instagram, kicking off on the 30th of June. Now, you guys, that is all I needed to share with you for today's video. And if you are just as excited as me about the Pattern Hackathon, then be sure to go ahead and give me a thumbs up so that YouTube knows that you are enjoying my content. Please leave me some comments down below and let me know, did you join in on the Pattern Hackathon last year? And do you think you will be getting involved this year? Now, if you have gotten this far in my video and you are not yet a subscriber, then you need to go ahead and hit that subscribe icon, because subscriptions cost you absolutely nothing, but they do guarantee you a spot right here with me in my sewing community on YouTube. And I love having you guys here from week to week to week to check out all of my sewing enthusiasm. I appreciate the time it takes for you guys to sit down and watch my videos. I know some of them can be quite long, but I'm hoping that they're both entertaining and very educational for you, and that you are encouraged to come back week to week to week. So go ahead again and hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on so you never miss any of my upcoming videos. Thank you so much for taking time to tune into today's video, and I'll be back again sometime soon. But until then, stay calm, stay cool, stay safe, and absolutely get pattern hacking. Peace.